personally, I mean, I love Lamela, but I don't think he's a legend. I don't. What would constitute a legend? Exactly, Andy. Yeah. I think he's a cult hero.
Rude, Andy.
He's a,
possibly misspelled.
Well, he's a legend in my mind for stepping on Fabregas's hand.
Fabregas.
Yeah. Anyone who steps on him is a legend.
Oh, I loved that when he did that.
I love that. But I think that's what makes him a cult hero. The fact how he would wind up. Like, he understood Spurs. He understood.
He did. His message today, Steve. You see the message as well, which was just basically saying, I'm one of you. You know, I love this shirt as much as you love it. So, you know, and it's fantastic to see so many ex-players going away from this club who could be sort of full of rancor. They're not. They're going away thinking, I love this club. There's something we are doing right. That's not quite maybe just there just yet. But we are doing something right.
We're not winning football, but actually...
No, but we're close. We're close.
Sorry, Jake, on.
The thing with Lamela is that, you know, he's a proper little shithouse, which is what has endeared him to a lot of our fans. But obviously, you know, couple that with the extensive injury record that he had, lack of consistency at times, his inability to release the ball when he should have done. I'm actually quite a fan of Lamela, but he always had you nervous when you were watching the game because he always just seemed to be a second away from a red card on every single game that he played. You always you could guarantee that he would do something stupid or.
I think he only got one red card.
He only got the one, didn't he?
Surprisingly,
you know, and I think that, and again, not unsurprisingly, that happens to be against Arsenal. You know, Arsenal. I think playing Arsenal meant as much to him as it did to us. You know, I mean, you talk about the Fabregas incident, but you've got the Wilshere incident where he's right like in Wilshere's face and calling him a little prick. You know, I mean, it's just
a pussy, wasn't it?
Yeah, or pussy or whatever. You know, he's a like
shithousen of Van Dijk. Sorry.
Oh yeah, that was great.
You know, and when he won the penalty there, you know that he's got all the angles. I liked him. I mean, I would have been happy to see him stay, but to be honest, you know, it probably was the right move.
18 goals in 8 years for an attacking midfielder. That's pretty rubbish.
Yeah,
17 of those were Rabona's, right?
Yeah, well, exactly. I mean, he could only score if it was Rabona. Exactly. A lot of the time, he was falling over whenever he shot. So I'm surprised he actually managed to get 18 goals at all. You know, he's always falling over. That used to frustrate me. But you know, from a commitment perspective, he'd always go out and give 100% whenever he was fit to play, and whether it was mocked up or not. You know, whether it was mocked up or not, that all or nothing scene where, like, he was recovering from injury, and he just said, like, well, if you need me to play, I'll play. You know what I mean? So, you know, he everyone's like, well, fucking hell, he only played so many games, like, in 8 years, but, you know, he had horrendous injuries. He had that hip injury and various other bits that went on, and you know, he's prepared to put his body back on the line for the club. And but what I do wonder, Lee, about that message was, did he give the same message to the Roma fans when he left Roma? You know, I love you. You're always like, I'll carry you this club with me in my heart forever.
Rinse and repeat.
Are you being cynical, Mr. Worrell?
Sorry.
I think what I also like about Lamela is he joined us in 2013. So, you know, it's 8 years on, and during those 8 years, we've gone from, you know, a fairly kind of struggling to get into the top four into a club that's been to a Champions League final. So he's been
now struggling to get back into the top four.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you didn't.
Now he's moving on. I just think we are.
You don't finish the story, because you said, like, you know, he came in, leaves in you said he leaves in a better place, but he doesn't. You know, we were average when he came. He got, you know, we were really good, and now we're back to being average again. So now he's fucking off. He knows when to get out.
Yeah, but when he joined, we weren't really good at all, were we? We were with AVB, and it wasn't great. Well, all the ingredients were there, Andy. All the ingredients were there. Okay, so the ingredients.
So as one door closes, another one opens, and we announced the signing of Brian Hill. Brian Hill. And
Jimmy's son.
Who's like, so, but we won't see him obviously until after the Olympics are finished, and then he'll need a few weeks break. So we won't actually probably see him until about January, at which point we'll sell him because he didn't perform well enough. but his club, like the fans from his club were upset actually that we were pulling this deal off, I think, and a lot of the fans in Spain were also
I think so.
Said it was a really good deal, and they couldn't understand how he was being let go. So hopefully we've got a bit of a gem there that we can destroy over the period of his contract.
Well, Sergio Reguilon was very excited, wasn't he?
He was, yes, he was.
Because he basically trolled the club, putting a photo out saying, he wasn't alluding to what it was, but he was basically saying, "Come on, Spurs official, let's go." And obviously he was...
I don't think he trolled the club. I think that it was coordinated. Someone else mentioned this. Fucking Sergio Reguilon. I think it was coordinated.
So the Galini one wasn't coordinated, but the Reguilon one was.
Well, we know that they get on, and we also know that there's what did he say? Make the announcement or something like that. So
yeah,
it's a bit of teamwork.
It was definitely a scripted.
Do you think so though? Because he would have known from Brian Hill that he was joining Spurs. So, the two of them could have had a chat, and then Sergey got onto Twitter and had a bit of a type.
Yeah,
I think they all know well enough not to touch social media unless the club tells them they can.
100%.
The reality is that
100%. So
he's not that stupid.
No. Well, performances would dictate otherwise. But yeah, no, I definitely feel it was a coordinated. It was great to see. So good stuff. And just before we move on from Lamela, I don't know if any of you noticed if you went onto Twitter just before we went on to air, but I noticed that Harry Kane, all the players have been saying goodbye to Lamela, some of the ex-players,
I saw Harry
Mason
Kane
and all that.
Something.
And Harry Kane has finally broken his media silence to come out and say good luck to Lamela and
Yeah, he said, "Coco, it's been a pleasure. Love playing alongside you, and all the best in Spain." Well, to me that says I'm off to City.
Oh, that's what that's what I read into it.
It's code. It's code. If you take every fourth letter.
But the thing is,
add a few and take some others away, then it does say that.
But it's so frustrating because that's probably one of the first things he said since sort of talking about England and how the England journey and how he enjoyed the Euros and all of that sort of stuff. And if he can come out and say that, if he wasn't interested in moving to City, then he could just come out and say, "I'm staying." It's that simple. So that is what frustrates me. Because you think, okay, he's just he's away with a family or whatever. He's just avoiding social media, and then he's just popped that out, and you think, "You bastard! Just make the statement, you bastard. One way or the other, let us know."
Yeah, but he won't because he's hedging his bets, isn't he? I think that's fair enough, to be honest.
In the meantime, we have to listen to twats like Teddy Sheringham saying, it's definitely the right time. He's got to go now. I moved to Man United, so it's about time he moved to City. We've all got to go. So
it's funny because Charlie Kane's been getting a lot of aggro over the last few days on Twitter. People calling him a snake and trying to engineer a move. And someone was saying that, when I was working in the bookies at White Hart Lane, Charlie Kane came over and said, "Can you put the Arsenal game on the TV?"
Yeah,
I'm not sure how true that is.
That's a load of bollocks, isn't it?
I mean, Ladbrokes wouldn't be in control of the television, would they?
Exactly.
And especially putting the Arsenal game on at White Hart Lane, it would have been.
And
right.
Apparently, he told the guy as well that he was he hated Spurs and loved Arsenal. And I thought, all right, okay.
I think that's out of order that they, that a lot of the people that are probably piling in on Charlie Kane were the ones that are saying that Harry Kane deserves his move. You know, if he goes, I'd wish him good luck. And, you know, he deserves a move because, you know, he deserves to go and be happy somewhere else and win trophies. But yet still have, you know, let's pile in on his agent, who happens to be his brother, who would have to be involved in making that move happen. The idiocy of Twitter never ceases to amaze me. So.
And also, despite starting all of this transfer business quite early, I mean, this is early in Spurs terms, you know, there's still a number of people that are Levy out, despite, you know, Fab being the man in control of football operations at the moment. So, you know, technically, Levy's taken a back seat. And things are happening, you know, and still it's not good enough.
Makes a big difference, doesn't it?
They want the parasite out, don't they? Allegedly.
Did you not see the? I think it was on. I can't remember if it was on the Lamela announcement, or it might have been on the Hill announcement. That someone said, "Well, yeah, that's great. Now, why aren't you announcing that Winks, Dyer, Sissoko, like so and so players that their contracts have been fucking cancelled?" You know? Just people cannot let it go. It's like, well,
they don't live in the reality because they don't live in the real world. And the only way they can express their morality is not by trying to have a conversation with 5 other people in real life and express these things. They have to put it on social media because they know if they say it out loud, people are just going to laugh at them and call them utter pricks. But if they put it on social media, they can just let it fly into the ether and let people just fight amongst themselves.
People going hard on Charlie are probably the people going hard on Charlie.
Yeah. You've been sat there waiting for the opportunity.
I've been waiting for that one.
You were like,
I did it written down and everything.
I'm just waiting for that little gap. In that gap when they don't talk, I'm just going to jump in and pounce.
I'm going to do the Charlie one. I'm going to do.
Yeah. So, but honestly, what I'm thinking is that, well, in my grand delusion, that this is kind of a strategy from Kane that I don't think he will go. I think that this strategy is basically to kind of leverage the club to match his ambitions and getting in Paratici or Paratici, whatever you want to call him, is one sign. Us now sort of looking in the next sort of 7 to 10 days, signing players, you know, not a level up from what we've been looking at before. It could be another sign. So, okay, I mean, it probably is a grand delusion. He may well, because Norman Giller and people like that seem to be in the know, and they're suggesting he's on his way out. But I would not be surprised if also that there could be something strategic behind it, that he wants the club to start, you know, showing their ambition.
Norman is very, very. He's very forthright with his, with his opinion, isn't he? Right? He's gone. I don't want to hear no different. I know.
Yeah, I just think
there's no argument about this.
He's very proud of his journalistic roots, isn't he, Norman? And,
and his association and his links and stuff like that. So just let's move on.
HBN.
Sorry, let's
a bit like. Go
on, mate. Go on. Just say it again. One more chance.
Go for it.
One more chance. Right. Just you might hit that punchline.
I've done the joke.
Missed it now.
Okay. All right. Okay. So. But I wanted to move on, actually, Jay, to a point that you wanted to raise, which was about Toby and this move.
Yeah, I mean, a really odd move to go to is it Qatar, isn't it? But obviously, you know, the wages must be absolutely astronomical, and I think, you know, the reported fee is around 13 million quid for a 32-year-old, which I think is absolutely phenomenal business for the club. And I don't think anyone else would have got anywhere near a 13 million pound fee for Alderweireld.
But does it say where he is? Does that mean, we talk about him being the best centre back in the club, which arguably he may still be at the moment. But does that say where he is? Because for probably at least 2 or 3 seasons, the club have tried to move him on and have failed to move him on to a club of any repute or
it's obvious why, though,
within a decent league, and he's had to end up going to Qatar.
Well, I mean,
that's because of his wages.
And also when you think as well, when